I'm selective with who I work with. So I only work with companies that I believe are delivering meaningful value. So all the SaaS businesses I've worked with, they're incredible. One of them has 450 employees now. One of them just got backed by one of the most reputable VCs in the UK who specializes in SaaS. Yeah, I mean, I've worked with some pretty fantastic SaaS names, and they have an incredible product. And it was a real privilege to be able to support them in growth. We got them some incredible results. The one with 450 employees, I chopped their CPA by about 43% within about 3 months.
So
Cost per acquisition, sorry.
okay, yeah. So a lot of people that are listening will not understand the acronyms.
Yeah, apologies. Yeah, marketeer mode. Yeah, so marketeers, for SaaS, we're focused on leads and marketing qualified leads. That's really kind of the typical remit of a marketeer. A growth mindset or growth leader obviously is full funnel, and that goes all end to end in terms of all the way to retention. But a lot of SaaS businesses are still in kind of more traditional mindset. And the key KPI that marketing evaluates is how much did it cost me to get a lead, and effectively chopped the cost per lead by 43%, and that's a material impact on the acquisition of the business, and it was on the biggest acquisition channel, so it was a big win. And yeah, it was actually, funny enough, just doing the basics. And when I say basics, I mean the basics in Google Ads, which is very specialized. So it's like if you've been doing plumbing for 20 years, a really complex job is relatively straightforward for you. And because we do a lot of paid ad stuff, it was very relatively straightforward. But for someone who's never done Google Ads, it's practically impossible to achieve that result. So it's simple because of the foundations that we had to put in place to get that win, or just best practice. But a lot of businesses don't have the foundations in place. And I it's very simple why. And I'll give you just an example. The last 3 weeks, I've had so I support different businesses as a non-exec and an advisor, and very consistently I'll get asked questions by the marketing manager. And literally, I've had multiple cases in the last 3 weeks where the marketing manager is like, can you recommend a freelancer who can come in and help train and upskill me in Google Ads because I want to manage it myself and bring it in-house? And I'm like, that's a terrible idea. And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, how many different, if you were to, can you just give me just a quick list of your responsibilities? Okay, here's a list of 14 responsibilities. I'm doing content, I'm doing blog, I'm doing email marketing, I'm doing Google Ads, I'm doing Google Analytics, I'm doing our events organization, I'm doing all that KPI reporting. Okay, so you've got your 14 things you're doing. Do you understand how complex Google Ads is? Do you understand it can take you up to 12 months just to get to a basic understanding of how to run it? And then she goes, oh, right, didn't know that. I'm like, yeah, it's a good thing I'm here. Yeah, so don't do it. And I'm like, what's your marketing budget? It's like 2K a month. So why? It's not even your biggest marketing channel. You're going to spend full time learning Google Ads and drop all your other 13 responsibilities? No. So when are you going to learn? And it's I just didn't know it was that complex. And then I realized that's the problem. People were so inundated with blog posts now that everything's available online. The problem is it's generic. It's not tailored to that business. That's why the company that was spending 30, 40K and burning it on Facebook prospecting, when you ask her, why did she do prospecting? It's because she picked it up in a blog post she read. And in a way, it's amazing that we have access to all this information. But if it's like a DIY kit, the DIY kit you're reading is giving you the wrong advice, you're going to end up with your toilet seat in your living room, which is not a very pleasant situation, probably a shitty situation you can imagine. So it's if you don't know what you're doing, and it's complex and intricate and specialist, which digital marketing now is, it's not like it was 20 years ago, then it's really hard. And I think that's a problem. I think the problem is, how does a SaaS founder identify who's good and reliable and trustworthy? But also it's about value for money. How do you know the person you're paying isn't really, it isn't just doing 20 minutes of work but charging you for 3 days? And I think that's a fear or concern that founders have as well. And I think it all really comes down to trust. So yeah, that's some of the challenges I've seen. Facebook and Google Ads are particularly complex as paid channels. If she said, I want to do Quora ads, I want to do Reddit ads, I'd say, okay, that's fine. I reckon you could do that in-house because they're not mature as platforms yet, but some platforms are really intricate. People just don't understand, if I go, okay, the programmatic landscape. Oh, you just run ads, right? No, you've got an exchange, you've got an SSP, you've got a DSP, you have a DMP. Do you know what all these acronyms are? These different platforms, that technology you need in your stack to run programmatic. And they go, I don't know what any of that is. I go, why do you think you can run it without knowing or understanding the topic?